So last night was Friday night when people generally do whatever they want, so naturally I spent the time composing a soundtrack for a documentary about a serial killer, which is, you know, just the way I roll. When I make orchestral type soundtracks, I'm a big fan of the sample CDs by Peter Siedlczak. I'm not sure how to pronounce his surname. His total piano, his advanced orchestra, and his extended classical choir. The thing about using orchestral samples is it's quite difficult to make them sound natural and like it's not done on a computer. First of all, you need to play it on the keyboard, on an actual tangible keyboard, with quantization off and everything like that. If you need to correct your notes, you can drag that, but do it freestyle again without any kind of quantizing. So here's the choir I started off with. I've got two copies, R and R dupe, here and here, of the exact same choir sound. The reason I've got two of them is because I do portamento on one of the notes, but not on the others. The portamento was just using the pitch bend of my MIDI keyboard. So to begin with, the choirs didn't sound realistic enough. My girlfriend, who's very articulate about these things, told me that it wasn't that realistic, and in order to fix that I just need to increase the attack and release, and she was completely correct about that. So if we take the duplicate one and solo that first of all, this is the low notes without portamento. We can actually set a really long attack on this, so it's basically a crescendo. It's really hard to get it right with this, it's a bit fiddly, but with trial and error you can do it pretty quickly. So a bit longer than that. Nice slow crescendo. And already you can hear it takes a while for it to fade in, it's a bit more realistic. We'll make the release a bit longer too. But not that much longer. There you go, much nicer. That sounds much more realistic. We do the same thing with this one here, but because it's you know, slightly more interesting, more prominent in the higher notes, we'll make it a little bit faster. So it's still going to be a bit slower than it was before, but not as slow as this other one here. So say about there-ish maybe. A bit slower than that. It's probably as good as we're going to get, because much more than that it's going to be the same as the other one, which we don't really want. Okay, so if you now listen to these together, you should hear the higher note starts off and then the lower notes kind of slowly joins in. Hopefully, you know, you can tell that sounds a lot better and a lot more realistic than it did to begin with. So lots of subtle little things like that can really add up and help to make the overall score much more realistic sounding. So yeah, it's a very nice orchestral set. It's just you know, it's not enough to have good samples, you need to learn how to use them properly, and most of that is just, you know, effort. It's not difficult, it's just time consuming. So, you know, once you put in the time to actually add all these little subtle nuances, it really adds up and makes for a kind of a more natural sounding choir.